Hey friends, it's Vasily. Today we're going to figure out how to meditate. Okay, so I wanted to make a video about meditation. So I'm trying to change a bunch of my habits, and meditation is something that I've always wanted to do and that I've kind of tried a couple times but never really found a good rhythm for it. I think a lot of things that have affected my ability to meditate regularly or do certain things is having a routine for it, or really just figuring out how to meditate, because I've done a couple of yoga classes and I've looked up some videos on meditation, and I always find that there's all these different things to do with meditation. I've even read a bunch of books. I was really into Buddhism and Taoism and stuff for a while, so I looked up a bunch of books there and researched that way, and I found that there was kind of more about meditation than I felt comfortable just jumping into, and I didn't really know what I was doing. I don't know about you, but the first time I tried to meditate, I sat there and I thought, what am I supposed to do or think about? So basically, the goal of this video, or the goal of figuring out meditation, is to figure out what exactly you're supposed to do when you meditate and how to do it effectively and get the most out of it for what you want to do. So some of my pre-thoughts are that how long am I supposed to meditate? What's the average amount? What's a standard practice of meditation? What are the different kinds of meditation? I want to figure out where I should be, or what I should be meditating about. Should I be focused? Should I do this and this and this? Basically just figuring out what meditation really is and what I can get out of it properly. Another thing is that in order for it to become a habit, I need to be able to do it consistently. I have to have a certain time of day that I like to meditate, or a certain frequency of days. Am I doing it every day? Am I doing it every other day? Twice a day? How long? Are really important things to figure out. What's gonna work for me? Because from what I understand is that there's no real amount of time to meditate, but it just kind of depends on what you're doing it for. I feel the best way to start anything is kind of informally, and to kind of just try it almost almost as a joke. You know what I mean? One of the ways I found most interested in anything is trying it for fun, trying it as a joke. So even when I used to break dance, my first time doing anything was one of my friends could do a freeze, and he taught us all how to do a freeze, and we didn't try to incorporate dances, we would just do freeze competitions. We'd see how long we could hold it, and it was some stupid thing that we used to do at school dances, embarrassingly enough. I started breakdancing to meet girls when I was in the 8th grade, and nothing says, hey girls, look at me, like a kid with his face on the floor for 5 minutes. That worked. But yeah, so I think I feel if you just do something with little care about it, it's the right approach, in the sense that you're not overwhelmed by it. So trying meditation with the assumption that I'm not thinking about, I'm not putting any weight on it, you know what I mean, is the way to go. And I think, good cracks. I think that's the way in general, we have to approach meditation and a bunch of other stuff, is not to put weight on what it is and what we're trying to get out of it, being that goal in the back of our mind for later, right? Your first approach, your first attempt should be just, hey, let's see what happens. So in terms of researching meditation, I'm going to try to figure out what the different kind of meditations are, what I should be doing in the meditation. There are also a lot of guided meditations and meditation apps and all that kind of stuff, and I'm going to look into some of those and see what works for me and what doesn't. Again, some of these might be different than what worked for you, so I definitely recommend trying a bunch of different things, but we'll do it together, and I'll let you know what I think and what I'm doing. Yeah, so let's figure some stuff out. Okay, so it seems for the types of meditation, you can break it down to about 6 different kinds of meditation. Now, this is a generalization. There are definitely more types of meditation than this, but this is just how I broke them down to create a general outline of the types of meditation that I found, or that are most commonly practiced. I'm gonna go through the different categories, and I'm gonna tell you a little bit about what I learned each one is for, the focus of each one, and then I'm gonna spend the next week doing one of these every day and try to walk through how I feel about it and what my thoughts are. Okay, so first we have mantra meditation. So mantra meditation, you basically have a word that is either given to you from the person who's walking you through the meditation, or you pick a word and you kind of recite this word to keep you on track of focusing of nothing. So like you actually don't want to think of anything. This word's not supposed to mean anything. It could be any word. Like it's a resonant sound that's supposed to keep you focused on just like yourself and your breathing and just making that sound and feeling the energy of that sound. Then we have the loving kindness meditation, or the love and kindness meditation. I'm not sure exactly because I've seen it written both ways. But basically this meditation is you kind of focus on a positive message for yourself and for others. So you think about yourself and you kind of go through like a mantra, like a little mantra about like I deserve love and all this kind of stuff, and it's basically just giving yourself positive energy. And then you pick like a loved one and you think about them and you think the same things and kind of like try to resonate that energy with them. And then you also think about somebody who you're kind of neutral about, like somebody you see in passing, maybe like a barista or something like that, or just like somebody you see just casually a couple of times a week, and you kind of give them that thing as well. And then you think about somebody you're having a hard time with. So it's kind of just like yourself, somebody you care about, somebody you're indifferent about, and somebody that you're angry at. And you kind of just like try to passively give them positive energy and give yourself positive energy. And it's supposed to help you like, you know, come to terms with and think more carefully and more considerately about other people, I guess. And then there's like the awareness meditation. Now awareness, I bracketed with a lot of different things. So this is kind of just like some of these awareness meditations kind of just focus on breathing, and some of them focus on like your body and your movement, your blood flow, all that kind of stuff. Like they're basically just like meditations for you to be in the moment where you are right now and kind of just like see what's happening around you. So like I think the most common one is like the breathing meditation. You'll find that one with the shorter ones. Like sometimes like in the apps and stuff, like Calm or you know, the apps. I forget the app names. Like there's a lot of them. We'll do like 3-minute meditations, and it'll literally be usually either like a loving kindness variation, like sending positive vibes kind of thing, or like an awareness meditation where it's like focus on your breathing, like imagine the breath going through your fingertips and all that kind of stuff. Like they'll try to describe like things you might feel in these guided meditations. Sometimes like, oh, maybe you like have a tingling sensation, or like think about like this part of your body, like what does this feel like, and it'll just kind of like ask you to reflect. Like it's a very much like becoming more aware and in tune with the things happening in you and around you, like directly on your skin and in your body. The next one we have is movement meditation, and it's something that I've done before. I don't really have the space to try it right now for this series, so I'm not gonna be doing it now, but I'm going to tell you a little bit about my experience with it before. Movement meditation has varying forms. Like some monks will walk in circles and take a step and pray every time they take a step, for example, or something as simple as counting beads. So like those mala beads, or like the prayer beads that you see, like 108, it's like an auspicious number. They'll count the beads and like say either a mantra or a prayer like every time, and that's like a physical movement. But like there's also no thinking movement, and sometimes it could be to music and stuff like that. And I know a lot of dancers might do this. You kind of get lost in that moment, and you're really just right there and nowhere else. And that's kind of the whole point of the movement meditation, is to be really focused on like just the activity that's happening. Now, that being said, it doesn't have to be like a dance or a movement to music. It just has to be, I don't even think it has to be, but I find personally that it works best if it's something with some kind of rhythm. So sweeping the floor, any kind of floor, can be a form of meditation, or cleaning, as long as you're really wrapped up in the movement that you're doing right now. So like I've read stories about like monks in monasteries like that also meditate while they're cleaning the toilet, you know what I mean? So like it's literally just like, how does this feeling of this like motion, this texture across like my body feel, and it's like really being captured by that. So it's almost like a form of awareness meditation, where like you're kind of noticing your breath and noticing the sensations you're feeling, but while doing something, as opposed to just sitting still. We got 2 more here. So the second last one is focused meditation. So focused meditation is kind of like the loving kindness meditation and the awareness meditation combined. It's more so like you focus on a specific goal. And this one's, I didn't really find much history about it, but I think it's a more recent phenomenon, and I think it's like, this is my personal opinion from what I guess about it, but from what I assume is that it's a more recent phenomenon, in the sense that like it's so that people can concentrate on a positive intention of like succeeding in a certain way. So I think it's very like business oriented, or like not necessarily self-awareness oriented, but more so just like like manifesting your destiny kind of thing, you know what I mean? Like it's not really like about making yourself better in a specific way or like calming and being relaxed. It's more so about like reminding yourself or affirming yourself like of a positive goal that you have. So like it's like basically an affirmation meditation, right? So that's like a focused meditation. So it's kind of just like your mantra, like the thing you're going to tell yourself over and over again, instead of saying like, oh, I deserve love, like in the loving kindness meditations. It's going to be more so just saying like, I will succeed in this thing, or I can do this, or I'm able to do this, like over and over again, and like having that positive sensation there. And the last one is the chakra meditation. So the chakra meditation, it's kind of like a focused awareness meditation for the different chakras in your body. So the chakra, like, I personally am not like a huge believer of chakra, but like I don't deny it. I'm indifferent. So I'm very interested to try it. So basically like you start by focusing on each chakra from the bottom up. I forget how many there are, but you go through like each one, you think about what the chakra is supposed to represent and what that part of your body like manifests and like all that kind of stuff. And you kind of just like think about it, and then you kind of just like move on to the next one. And so that's kind of what that one is like. So I don't know if you noticed, but there's like a common theme about like either like kind of bringing awareness to something, and that something happens to be in the moment. So I think that's the thing that we're going to see, or that I'm going to experience, and that you might experience if you do this with me. All the different meditations actually have, like, my lighting's doing some weird shit right now. I don't know why. But all the different meditations have like a specific focus point to bring you into that moment. So I think they're all going to be a very interesting thing to try, and I think they're all going to have like a similar result, honestly. So yeah, so we're going to do a guided meditation for all of these that I can do, and then I'll give you my opinion on them after I do them. And yeah, we'll see how it goes in the end. I'll give you a conclusion at the end of like my experiences with them, and like what I think and what I think will work for me, and maybe even like where you might start. I'll link all the videos that I use down below, and then you can just try them out yourself and you'll have that experience as well. So I'm gonna do 10-minute meditations. I figured that was a good amount of time for me to like actually get into the moment, because like shorter ones like 3 minutes, 4 minutes don't really do it for me. I never get like fully settled. But longer ones, I'm pretty fidgety, so I can't really like sit still for long periods of time. So yeah, so basically I want to do this every day. My goal is to do this every day, and take 10 minutes every morning, specifically in the morning, first thing that I do. I'm going to find a video, sit down and meditate, and just see how that goes. And if that works, if I need to change something, we'll go over that in the conclusion. All right, friend, let's start. So I'm going to do the mantra meditation today, and you can use any word, but the word you're most commonly going to find on the internet in like YouTube videos is going to be Om. So we're going to do that, and we'll see how that goes. So I did a meditation and we just said Om over and over again. I kept getting distracted. Like I don't think I really grasped the purpose of it. I kept trying to match my Om with the one in the video and the sound, and as a result, like I couldn't extend it as long. So I was trying to take deeper breaths, or I was trying to match the note, and I feel like it took me out of the moment and kind of like made me focus on something that wasn't really the point. So I don't think Ohms are gonna do it for me. However, I am curious to try a different mantra meditation. It could be pretty much any word. You kind of just devoid the meaning of it. And actually, this is what they do in transcendental meditation. From what I understand, transcendental meditation, or TM as it's often called, is a similar idea where you use a mantra, but the mantra is devoid of meaning. It didn't quite go well because of what I was trying to do, but I did find that while I was doing it, the resonance in my body was quite nice. Like just using my breath, the repeated feeling of saying the word felt really, really good, except I was constantly distracted about how to say it, or when to say it with the tape, as opposed to just saying it on my own and following my own rhythm. Maybe the mantra meditation would work better without following it. And eventually I did get tired of saying the word. I liked the feeling, but I was tired of saying it. So yeah. Okay, so today I'm gonna do the loving kindness meditation. My cat's dropping things off my desk right now. I'm a little hesitant. I think it's a little strange to like actively put some time aside to like have positive intentions, but I think it's just because it's weird telling myself I love myself. But yeah, we'll see how it goes. Maybe it'll be good. Maybe it'll be something I should do more often. Okay, so I just did the loving kindness meditation. I don't know how I feel about it. Like, okay, so I'm emotionally distant. I really couldn't get into the moment of like wishing myself or other people well-being and love and all that kind of stuff. Like, not that I have ill will for anyone, but it was kind of just like I couldn't get into that headspace of like really imagining them there and like trying to extend my emotions. However, I did have like a whole inner personal reflective thing, realizing how closed off I am. So there was that. It was definitely interesting. It wasn't what I was expecting. It almost kind of didn't feel like a meditation. It almost felt like a therapy session. My thought of meditation is that it's supposed to like help you stay grounded in the moment, and this didn't do that, but it also did something else. I don't know if I could call it a meditative experience for me. It wasn't bad. It was different. What I felt, I don't think is what was intended to be felt, but I think something is something, and I'll probably try it again eventually. I think clearly if I'm emotionally distant, this is probably something that would benefit me. Probably do it again. I'm gonna do the focus meditation today. I don't really know what to expect. I don't really know if it's gonna apply to me or if I'm gonna get anything out of it, so we'll see. Okay, so I just finished the focused meditation and I'm actually pretty surprised. The focused meditation I imagined was more so business oriented, kind of just like it is what I assume it is, and I still don't think I'm wrong about that, but I'm actually surprised about like how good I feel right now about it. So there was no specific thing that said like, oh, imagine yourself like how you're going to succeed in this task and all that kind of stuff, and it actually was really good. It was probably the best motivational speech I've ever heard. It still felt like meditation, you know what I mean? It felt like meditation, but it was still very motivational. This is the first one out of all the ones I've done so far that actually make me realize just how important the person guiding you is. It felt exactly the way I should feel when I'm doing it. It was very calming. It was very clear. It felt like it blended into the meditation very well. It didn't pull me out. Like the words didn't pull me out. So it was pretty good. I'm surprised. I think it's a good meditation if you are second guessing yourself and you're hesitant. It was somebody talking you up to be able to do whatever it is you're going to do. It was surprisingly good. So today's meditation is going to be a guided mindfulness meditation. So it's going to be a lot about like breathing and a lot about just really focusing on what's happening with your body and anything that's happening around you, kind of like gently acknowledging it. That's pretty much what the mindfulness thing is about, so that's going to be that one, and we'll see how it goes. Okay, so I just finished the mindfulness meditation. It was okay. I think I'm always going to feel calm after meditations, so it's not like I didn't feel relaxed or anything, but it was more so like with the guided meditation, typically they start telling you, okay, now focus on your breathing, or imagine your breath going down to your ankles, just like noticing each breath or becoming aware of all that kind of stuff. And that's a regular pattern amongst mindfulness meditation, and like that's super cool to like know what to focus on, all that kind of stuff. But what's annoying is that it doesn't always go in sync with where I am in my head. So like I'll be breathing at a certain pace, and then the voice will say, on your next breath out, or like on your next breath in, or take a deep breath, and I'll be like halfway through taking a deep breath, or like not like exhaling or something, and it feels like it doesn't quite match my rhythm. I think it's probably my biggest criticism for mindfulness ones, right? Yeah, I think it's just like not matching my rhythm of where I am. I think I would do better with just like an idea of what to focus on. I feel like there's a common list of things to focus on, or like imagine the breath going to certain places, imagine like focus on or notice what's happening at like your head down to your like face, neck, shoulders, all that kind of stuff. Like it kind of follows a similar pattern, you know what I mean? It's definitely one to like try out, I think, if you don't know what you're really focusing on. But you could just as easily look up like a list of things to keep in mind or be aware of. It could just literally be your breath, you know what I mean? As long as like it's something about you. I don't know, I feel like guided mindfulness meditations just kind of, even if I start to get in something, it takes me out of that rhythm. But yeah, this one specifically, like at the end she started saying like facts, like stress does this, and the amygdala, all this other stuff, and I thought that like didn't let me come out of the meditation really smooth. But yeah, I don't think a guided mindfulness meditation is the one for me. Like, we'll see how the other ones go. I'm gonna try, I don't know which one I'm gonna try next, but we'll see how that goes. Today I'm gonna do the Zen meditation. It's like the chakra meditation where you focus on the different chakras, and we'll see how that one goes. Okay, so I just finished off the chakra meditation, and it was nice. Again, very similar things. I'm finding like a very consistent pattern. It's kind of just like sitting down and focusing on one thing. So whether it be your breath or your blood flow or your chakras, and like thinking about that, there's typically like a common ground for all the meditations. This one was pretty good. Got like a cool buzz feeling afterwards. But yeah, like I think the biggest thing with all the meditations really is that if you can focus in on what's being said, you're gonna feel good and feel a certain way. We started at the base and then we went up the chakras, and that was interesting. There was like affirmations for each part that were supposed to represent like what that chakra is for. I don't know, I find it hard still to buy into a lot of things, but I do see the value in these things, which is why I meditate, you know what I mean? I do find value in it, but I think there's such a thing as over spirituality. I don't know, like I'm really I'm on the fence for a lot of things all the time, but for me basically it's like I feel spiritually attached, but I don't necessarily assign titles and specific feelings for all these things. You know what I mean? Like, sure, there can be all these chakras, and they can be responsible for all these things. I'm indifferent. I just like generalize the whole thing. Like, my body is full of this energy, and I just need to find myself in it. I just need to do the things I need to do to keep myself in right now. I can't buy into the same level as some of the people in the videos, which is probably what pulls me out of the video or pulls me out of the audio and takes away from me actually getting to that space that I want to get to, which is why like I would much rather like know in advance what it is I need to focus on if I want to do a chakra meditation than just know like, okay, think about this chakra, think about this chakra, think about this, and like what it represents, and then just like imagine that. Okay guys, so here we are. I meditated for about a week and a half in my notes that I have everywhere. I found that like there seemed to be a general consensus, kind of like what I mentioned earlier in the video about there being like a common theme in all the meditative practices, and I definitely found that to be true. I sat down through all these guided meditations and I looked up all these different types, again, that are linked down below, and while going through them, like, we kind of just found I'm focusing on different things, but the end goal was the same, was to like essentially maintain focus in the moment, in the now. There was some that I found that were like less helpful or more helpful, and it's actually kind of surprising. So I was surprised to find out that my favorite, or the one that I found the easiest to follow and actually fully jump into and be a part of, was the chakra meditation. I did find the simple guided focus to be very, very easy to follow and easy to commit to. Whether or not you believe that like your heart and the space in the chakra there is connected with your emotions, the fact that you have emotions is something you can reflect on. So that was a pretty cool thing. I was surprised to find that it was actually harder to follow the simple breathing and awareness meditations. In hindsight, that makes a lot of sense when I think about it, because those guided meditations that had like another purpose, like the loving kindness, the chakra meditation, pulled me along through the meditation, whereas the self-awareness meditation, where like the whole point is to just remove all thoughts and kind of just like be in the moment, were taking me out of the moment. So they kind of did the opposite of what they were trying to do, and I found that actually just having the idea that, okay, I'm just gonna focus on my breathing and the sensation of like my blood flow or the sensation of my skin before I go to meditate, and then sitting down for 10 minutes with a unguided meditation was actually more successful than me sitting down with a guided awareness meditation. So the conclusion for me is that I think I need to be alone. The guided meditations have to take me somewhere. If I do an unguided meditation, I want to pre-plan what I'm going to think about. I would have to know all the chakras, and I would have to know like who I'm going to think about for the loving kindness meditation and just go for it. I think everything else worked out pretty well. The plan I had set for myself is like every day for 10 minutes in the morning, and right now that's a good level for me. So I think that's something I can definitely maintain, especially right now that I'm not working a consistent job. I just started Uber Eats, which I'm going to make a video about actually, and I'm just kind of in school, so like I have a lot of time for myself because my courses are online, so I can really set my own schedule every day. I'll probably switch in between a few of the different meditations, like the awareness meditation, focus meditation, and probably the chakra meditation too. Maybe in the future I'm going to go to doing 2 meditations every day, one in the morning, one at night before I go to sleep. Yeah, so that's how I feel about it. Thanks for calling me, and see you soon. If you haven't already, just feel free to subscribe if you want to see more of this kind of stuff. Just let me know in the comment section below what you got out of the video and what you'd like to get out of another one, and what kind of stuff you'd like to see in the future. Thanks. See ya.